Greetings, cool boy nation. This episode, we will be doing something very special. Something that has never been done anywhere. Ever.
Oh my God. Tell me, what is it?
We will be doing our first ever live commentary of a John Travolta gay porn.
What?
And no one here is here to say that they didn't agree to this. Cool boys everywhere, strap in and buckle up. It's time for Trading Paint.
Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Hold your dicks and rub your tits.
You'll be ice cold.
Here come the Cool Boys.
Just a young boy.
So cool.
So cool. So cool.
I see good boys.
Trading Paint.
Trading paint.
Trading Paint.
Trading paint.
Welcome, cool boy nation, to a special installment of the Cool Boys Podcast. This is going to be so confusing to anyone who's not really familiar with the works of John Travolta recently. I'm the Forger, Felk.
Well, why would they be tuning into a commentary track of Trading Paint unless they were? And I'm Broken Arrow Ballard.
He's Nolan Sexton Cool Boys. Do you read me again? Let's just ignore him. We've got our own thing to do here, man. We got
All
John
right.
Travolta ahead of us.
Just right, So cool.
And also, well, we'll get into it once we start Trading Paint, but I have a feeling that Trading Paint was not targeted at John Travolta fanatics.
And now, Felk reads the back of DVD cases. Tonight's author is Trading Paint.
Challenge your legacy. When their winning streak begins to fail, legendary father and son racing duo Sam, John Travolta, and Cam, Tony Sebastian, or excuse me, I read a normal person's name, Toby Sebastian, have a falling out. A rival racing giant takes advantage of this. This text is yellow over exploding flames of yellow. It is hard as fuck to read. All right. A rival racing giant takes advantage of this rift and offers Cam a lucrative opportunity racing for the adversary.
Wow.
Cam accepts, and the gap between father and son grows even bigger. Engines rev and sparks fly as the two are set against each other in an ultimate high-stakes race and the most dangerous competition between father and son. Well, cool boys.
Well, I was going to say, okay, so Tarzan Cater, a director of 10 films, okay, Felk, 10 films.
Yeah, look at
3 of these are in development, by the way, and Trading Paint is his most recent film, his 7th film. This is a big deal.
Yeah, he is the director of such films as IMDb is loading. Oh, a lot of movies that do not look like they were shot in America.
Yes, or on film, probably.
Or any country that has running water. Oh, Kurdistan. Okay.
Kurdistan? A country of Kurdises?
The Kurdistan region of Iraq.
Oh, dude, I really honestly don't know my geography very well, but Kurdistan sounds like an amazing place.
Well, it's Iraq, but it's like I don't know the what was going on.
A whole bunch of people named Stan and a whole bunch of people named Curtis.
That's where Sebastian stands from.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's all last name of Curtises and Stans. This movie also has John Travolta, of course, and Shania Twain.
Yeah. That don't impress me much. Is that Shania Twain?
Yeah, that is. That don't impress me.
So you're Brad Pitt. That don't impress
me much.
What a horrible song.
I loved it. Oh, I loved it.
I think Shania Twain is attractive.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, very attractive. And we'll see in this movie.
Well, cool boys. I don't think we can get any more introductory than that. Time to move on to our Cool Boys commentary. is what I always like to say.
Yes.
Cool Boy Nation, push play now. Okay, that's good and loud.
Ooh, wow. Lionsgate right off the bat. Stamp of quality.
Yeah, Lionsgate used to actually make movies, but I don't really understand what they are now. I think they're just...
Distribution, too.
They just distributed things?
I think they do both, yeah.
Remember when it was like Artisan, but and they had like weird movie, like indie movies?
Shut up! You're missing it. This is Saban.
Oh,
it's
Haim
Saban.
Is this Haim Saban's logo?
Yeah, it is.
That's his name, I
Saban.
think.
Saban Films.
He had a severe coke problem and was very open about it.
Allegedly.
No, he was open about it. Oh, I don't know what this one is.
This has gotta
AM
be-
Grind. Amber
This is-
Group.
What is this? Yeah.
AMB.
Ambi Media.
Ambi Media? AMB Media. AM Media.
AM.
And Paradox Studios. Well, that studio shouldn't exist.
Whoa.
And Ellipsis Capital, which is probably like a small bank.
Yes,
And
yeah.
Raven.
Raven. Whoever Raven is. Raven's a guy. I hope it's like a guy.
Sculptor. How many fucking logos are
I
these?
hope
These
Sculptor's
last
just a
two
guy,
haven't
too.
even been designed. They look like clip art.
Last race of the season. Talladega Short Track, Alabama.
I don't have subtitles.
Oh, it's Cam. And Michael Madsen. Okay, so Michael Madsen, he's like Rowdy Burns here. That's what I'm getting. And we have two Cole Trickles maybe. in
There he
this.
is.
So Travolta's what, Duval maybe? Duval that races?
I don't know if Travolta races in this movie.
I hope he does. I'll be upset if he doesn't.
I think he's the coach. We just saw the first shot of John Travolta.
Yeah, we did. We just saw him. Beautiful, by the way. Beautiful beard. Hair is under a hat, but it looks like it'd be great hair. And it's a little Chazdini.
He looks
Very Chastity.
he looks heterosexual.
I don't know why you have to mention that.
I don't know. Big fat guy waving a flag. Cars. Did we ever find out what type of racing this is?
No. But maybe we'll find out in the movie.
I love that it's 1 hour and 27 minutes.
It's going to be, oh, I know, fast action.
Live action typically not a good sign when a movie is that short.
On the back of the DVD case, it just says it's racing. It's just racing. Not any particular type.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. So whatever this type of racing is, has a dedicated fan base. And this movie was marketed very heavily with posters and like, well, I don't know how you display video at one of these rural dirt tracks, but maybe Travolta actually went to fucking dirt track racing events. It was like, oh man,
Getting
Trade and
character.
Paint, you gotta see it. It's coming out soon. I'm John Travolta. I flew here in my own jet, and I totally do not have sex with men. Also,
It did nothing.
and then he handed out copies of Dianetics.
Yeah.
Okay, we're meeting John Travolta's son here. He just took his helmet off and he's angry.
And then Travolta walked over to his airliner and then kissed his pilot on the lips, and they both got on there. And then all of a sudden, disco music played, lights were flashing, and noises were making.
And then they both jumped into the air and yelled Scientology and freeze framed.
Scientology rules.
Okay, that was a well done shot of him getting out of the car.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it actually was. I'm telling you. So, okay, I've been watching a bunch of these Travolta films recently. Things like Speed Kills, all right, I Am Wrath. And let me just tell you, they are a lot higher quality than you expect.
Well, I Am Wrath is Chuck Russell, so I would expect some level of like quality. The guy has made fucking Eraser and The Mask. He knows how to make movies. This movie, however,
This movie's going to be great, but The Forgers maybe not so good. That we watched the trailer for, and that didn't seem that great.
there was color grading done to it. Everything kind of has a brown color grade to it. That's
Trading
something.
Paint or The Forger?
Trading Paint.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the Forger's cinematography.
Yes, you can. You saw the trailer.
I would never judge a movie based on its. Trailer.
Car accident. Yikes.
Whoa, that was a hard cut.
Yeah, that's awesome, though. It was fine.
Is this what he does?
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, this is day-to-day outside of...
What was that? Is that Shania?
Yeah, it's Shania in the car with him.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they couldn't afford to do the entire thing, so they did.
Wait, he got into a massive car crash, and Shania took it in the temple from a giant steel pipe?
I don't think that was Shania. She looked too young. I think that was his daughter, and his daughter's dead.
He was kissing his daughter in the car while they were driving?
They were kissing?
Were they kissing?
They were kissing.
Felt like kissing.
That's your fan fiction.
We'll find out.
Whoever that girl was way younger than Shania Twain. She looked like Shania Twain when Shania Twain meant something, but Shania Twain's like 48 years old now. Maybe older. Let's find out.
No, but I don't care. She looks still great.
Oh yeah, no, she. I mean, however old. Let's
Maybe
see,
a tad
Shania
Botox, but still
Twain
great.
Is she's one of those women who 53.
Fantastic. Wow.
Well, that doesn't impress me much. Hold on, let's find out.
Whoa!
Diane Lane. How old is Diane Lane? Older or younger?
Oh, slightly older.
54.
Yeah.
Still fuckable.
There, look, there's Shania.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Yeah, see, that wasn't her in the car accident.
This is beautiful. They had a nice little fishing moment together. Now they're having a picnic next to a little pond or a lake. This is miles away from things like Broken Arrow.
Pretty bored already.
Well, it's trading paint. They're obviously gonna have action moments. It's not just gonna be this whole movie next to a lake.
I'm just gonna throw. You remember that episode of South Park, Poor and Stupid, where Cartman says that over and over, like trading paint.
We're trading paint.
It looks like we're trading paint. Because he
No,
does
wait,
NASCAR.
what? No, I don't.
I'm putting
remember
that. I'm putting that. I'm finding that clip and I'm putting it in all over this fucking episode.
Good, please do.
Yeah, it was the one where Cartman wanted to be a NASCAR driver or a NASCAR.
Wait, what season is that?
I don't remember.
Like early on, like seasons 5?
Oh no,
6?
pretty recent.
Oh, I see. Okay, I've actually missed the last like 3 or 4 seasons.
Season 14, episode 8. Cartman wants to be a NASCAR driver, and he's just like really condescending to what NASCAR is the entire time because he's just like, I wish I could, race NASCAR, but I'm not poor or stupid enough because he thinks that all NASCAR drivers are just borderline retarded.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's and everyone's not depicted as dumb. There's like a lot to the sport, but he just says, "Looks like we're trading paint" over and over again.
We're trading paint.
So when I've heard about this, that's what I thought. Like, that's what I thought of.
Yeah. Well, it's not right.
Huh?
It's a little different.
No,
it's a little bit more.
It's his whole world.
Of a family drama.
I feel bad. Well, I do. Do you? Let's pause it as a question. Do you feel bad for Michael Madsen?
No, I don't feel bad for Michael Madsen.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Why do you feel bad for him?
I mean, he's been in like big movies.
Yeah. So he's in Train Paint. This is a big movie.
Yeah.
Is it? You don't think so?
Trading paint. No,
What do you feel about Hateful Eight? Did you like Hateful Eight? He was in that.
Hateful Eight's pretty good.
I love Hateful Eight.
I have not watched the 4-episode recut of it.
I loved that too.
Oh,
That
you
was
watched
awesome.
that?
Yeah, that was great.
It's interesting. It is weird that like he would do that because like that leads me to think that Kill Bill could be a real thing.
Yeah, and he's doing a director's cut version to Django as well. He's recutting Django with his editor. And he said I think after Django was done, he was going to look into maybe doing some more of that Netflix type stuff.
That's interesting. I guess that's the
But-
future.
Yeah, well, I think it's like he's just mostly going back and recutting some of his own stuff.
Yeah, he's such a proponent of film and the theater experience that I don't ever see him going like all in on.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of
Netflix.
fun with Hateful Eight, sounds like.
Yeah, well, the recut, you mean?
Yeah, the recut, yeah. I find it more interesting, though, that like out of his quote-unquote 10 films that he's done, and his 9th film being Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that he might potentially be making his 10th film the Star Trek movie. That's kind of crazy to me.
No, the Star Trek thing I think it fell through a long time ago, unless there's been recent
it?
news about it. Yeah, unless there's been recent news. That's been way gone.
I
for
thought
a
I
while.
read somewhere that like JJ has read a script or something like that, even like recently across his desk.
Maybe I thought that kind of fell out just because of on a practical level. Although, I mean, if I was in charge of Star Trek, if I was Jeff Star Trek, I would
Jeff
definitely,
Star
I would
Trek.
definitely like just say, just for the gimmick of it, give it to him, see what he does with it. I don't know what he
Yeah.
would do.
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know either. But he's a huge enough fan that you think he would do something interesting. But they said they were comfortable apparently with like R ratings or some shit like that. So
Yeah, well, yeah. I haven't watched Discovery, nor will I. It sounds incredibly grating. I'm watching the Orville, and that kind of gives me my Star Trek fix because it's just.
how do you like that?
It's just Next Generation.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, they marketed it as a comedy because Fox, I think, had control of the marketing, but there's maybe a little bit more comedy than Next Generation had. Like percentage is up a bit, and rather than being the dry sense of humor that Next Generation occasionally tried to display, it's Seth MacFarlane's sense of humor. So if you like Ted or Family Guy, you'll enjoy that.
Is it like Seth MacFarlane like gets a budget essentially to do anything, and he gets to I'll just have fun and do my own fan fictional Star Trek series?
It sounds like he's rich enough that he could greenlight him as a fan doing like fan fiction for Star Trek, and that's what it feels like. But it's actually pretty good because he can hire good writers and good
that's
directors.
awesome. That's amazing.
Because like he's gotten Jonathan Frakes to direct episodes, so it's got the Star Trek feel.
Wow.
He got Jon Favreau to do a bunch of episodes.
Wait. But Jonathan Frakes, like he did like 3 films. He did like 3 films, right? Like something like that.
The Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he did 2 of them.
2 of them. Okay.
Yeah, and including First Contact, which I think is probably the best of the Next Gen movies.
It's definitely the one that's highest esteemed amongst fans, right? When it comes to the Next Generation series.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was great until I watched the Plinkett review of it, and I was like, oh, I guess there are some flaws here, but I don't have as big a problem with those as Mike does. Mike Stacklasa does.
Yeah. Are you interested in Picard at all?
Man, maybe. We'll see. Like, the people in charge of Star Trek, at least on a TV level, it sounds...
Hair! You get his hair, and
Grating.
he's got Chaz Dean hair.
Oh, yeah, we haven't
John
talked about
Travolta
trading
has
Peyton in
Chaz
a
Dean
long
hair.
fucking time here, have we?
No, we haven't, but it's okay. Go back to Star Trek. It's fine.
No, I mean, that's it.
What's it?
No, that's pretty much all I had to say about Star Trek.
I'm not interested in Discovery. I'm not interested in Picard. I'm interested if they make more movies. That's about it. I like Star Trek. I like what old Star Trek was a lot more than what new Star Trek has become. That being said, I still like new Star Trek. I just don't think it's Star Trek. The movies I'm talking about, of course.
Yeah, I don't care if the JJ verse continues. It can die where it is.
Yep.
Beyond felt more like Star Trek than anything that Star Trek has made in a long time, and I liked it for that. And I felt like the cast,
Especially the first 20 or 30 minutes.
yeah. Well, especially just like the opening. I mean, they still had to throw in stuff to make it in continuity with JJ and with Kirk riding a motorcycle and
Right.
being a big fan of the Beastie Boys. But other than that, even
Are
that
you kidding me? Beastie Boys is the way it like saves the day.
the Beastie Boys. I thought that moment was fine,
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
and I like the little acknowledgement that that would be classical music to them.
It would be, yeah, for sure. Hundreds and hundreds of years old. Thousands of years old? Hundreds of years old.
Hundreds. It's like the 24th century.
Yeah, hundreds. Okay, cool. Star Trek talk.
We need to figure out something to talk about here. I don't have anything to say about trading Pates.
You got any updates? Or anything?
My tooth hurts. That's pretty new. I think I hate dentists. I hate dentists so much. And I've talked about my dentist before, but I guess I could recap that. That I've got like my dentist is literally in the SAG building, so he's and it's all about like cosmetics. So he's always trying to sell me on like the dental shit, and he's hinted several times that like, oh, I did this for a very important client, and it would really work on you. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, because I have, I got a little gap right between my front teeth. He's always trying to like sell me on how he can make my teeth completely perfect.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is grind down my existing teeth until they're little fucking sharp nubs and stick caps on them. And it's like like $10,000-$20,000. And I'm like, well, first off, if I'm going to spend $20,000 fixing something about me, I'm going to get my hair back like Elon Musk did. I'm not going to go to my teeth first because my teeth are teeth. You know, I can close my goddamn mouth, but I can't close my hair.
Ooh, good point. How much is it to get that Elon Musk thing?
Elon Musk got it done by. Have you seen photos of Elon Musk before?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Before and after, yes.
Yeah.
But go ahead and describe it to the nation if they haven't.
Okay. Well, I believe he got the transplant surgery. Do you know how that's involves? Where they literally cut a strip of skin off the back.
Joe Rogan's talked about it a lot.
Yeah, and implanted it. Rogan has, because Rogan obviously used to fight like crazy, and yet he still lost that battle.
Yeah, he talks about how he did that exact same thing, and he has now a smiley face scar on the back of his head, and he wished he never did it, and he wished he just shaved his head sooner.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of with Joe on that. Like, if there was a cleaner way to do it, that's fine. I still don't understand why they have to fucking cut, like, your skin off to get hair. Can't we just, like, I see homeless people every day with full heads of hair with my hair color.
You should just go
Just
to Panama,
harvest them.
dude.
Just harvest them. Just harvest their head skin.
No, go to Panama and do their stem cell research and shit like that and figure it out down there. That's like a legit thing, too. Like, you got to research it, but it's like a legit thing. Like, Panama, that's where stem cell research is, like, really going on strong. Good shit's happening there. Mel Gibson has been going down there to get shit done or something, or his dad did, something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Stem cell has nothing to do with the type of hair surgery that I'm aware of.
I know. I'm saying, but stem cells injected into your scalp might make you have glorious locks of hair all over again.
See, who
knows?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? I'm talking about the proven medical procedure. But it's
I
like,
would do anything for Panama.
why do you care about Panama?
Because that's where you can do it. That's where they're allowed all this like flexibility with the medical, research and development.
They did give us John McCain.
There you go.
He was born there.
He was. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I don't know much about Panama. I know it's a canal. I know the canal.
Oh, Sam, played by John Travolta, just knocked out a patron at the bar.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Kind of giving up on this
Kevin
movie.
Dunn?
It's already boring me.
Is that Kevin Dunn with a beard?
That looked like Kevin Dunn, best known as the dad from Transformers.
Yeah, Mr. Witwicky.
And the military guy from the hit 1998 film Godzilla.
Woo! Such a great role too for him.
The King of Monsters reviews are not great.
Oh, really? That's too bad because Michael Dougherty, is that his name? He's a great director so far. Other than that,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let's cool boy check what it's currently at, because I'm planning on seeing it this weekend.
Trick or Treat and Krampus are both great. I love them both. Like, love them both. 5 out of 5. Love them both.
I mean, but does that translate to Godzilla?
It doesn't. I don't know if he was the right pick for that, but I was excited to see what he did with it anyways.
What do you think the score is? Guess it.
Probably 68.
56.
56. Yikes.
Yeah, that said, I still want to see it. A lot of the negative reviews are, oh, it's just monsters fighting. Where's the characters I care about?
What was Godzilla, 2014 Godzilla, what was its a Rotten Tomato?
That's a good question.
Because I actually like that movie and most people hate it. Do you also think Farrah Farmiga is going to end up being like Bryan Cranston's character and just die early on, leaving her daughter to be the whole movie? Just kind of like, not Shia, what's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson, ATJ, like he was the whole movie after Bryan died?
So that's my problem. For your previous question, Godzilla got 75%, meaning it's certified fresh.
Yikes.
And
wow.
I don't really agree with that. I think it's that movie felt like a trick. I went in expecting to see a movie with Bryan Cranston as the scientist and Godzilla as the thing that
Same.
And then of course Godzilla's in it for 6 minutes.
And Bryan Cranston's in it for like 12.
Yeah, exactly. And also,
but I still like it a lot. I still loved it. I still fell for it.
And the Aaron Taylor Wait, what's his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Quicksilver. He's he is a fucking plank of wood. He is so terrible.
And that he is, but I think he's fun in other things.
He was statutory raped by his current wife, who was the director of 50 Shades of Grey. And she started dating him when he was like 17, and she was like in her 30s. And they got
but that's
married.
also England, right? There's different laws there.
Is he
I don't know them.
British?
I think so. I think they're both are. But I don't know the laws there, to be honest.
All I know is, 50 Shades of Grey is not a good movie, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's not a good actor. So I don't know why we really need either of them.
Woo!
Seriously, what's your favorite
Phil.
Aaron Taylor Johnson movie?
Kick-Ass.
See,
followed-
Kick-Ass, I know he's in Kick-Ass, and I almost have to like rewatch it because like I liked Kick-Ass. I saw it with you and Dorn.
Yeah, Savages was good.
Fuck Savages. What's that?
It's that Oliver Stone movie that's like him and
that's the Blake Lively. Yeah, I've seen that
Benicio
too.
del Toro. And there's some other guy that's also in that movie that's like Aaron Taylor
Twain's
Johnson's character.
Got a good ass right now, by the way. That's a pretty decent 53-year-old ass from Shania.
And she's in Mom Jeans too. Super hot Mom Jeans.
Those aren't mom jeans. Those are just jeans.
They're just jeans, baby.
What's the difference between jeans and mom jeans?
I would say Mom Jeans probably pull up really high around
it's
the waist.
It's around the waist.
Yeah.
Those don't go up that high on their waist though.
No, they don't. And she looks amazing. She really does.
No, she's just rocking jeans.
She's rocking that blouse too.
She takes care of herself.
Thank God. Man, I feel like a woman.
By the way, I was in line at fucking Astroworld for this like thing. I think it was like a pop-up VR experience. And that song, something must have been wrong with their fucking CD or whatever, because that song looped the entire 90 minutes that I was in that line. And
really?
It drove me in fucking insane. It's just like over and over again. It was like torture. Shania tortured me in a way. I mean, she didn't mean to do it.
You should try next time you have people over, just play it in the background. The 10 hours of Michael Jackson. No, 10 hours of Michael Jackson noises. It's amazing. I did it. It's fantastic. You put it on low enough so people don't notice it at first, and after a while, they're like, just all of a sudden, they're like, shikama, ow, ay, ooh. It's fantastic. You should seriously try it. You should try it sometime. Next time we do a Cool Boy party together, play it in the background. Hey, Felk, I actually had something interesting happen to me.
You have an update?
I have a little bit of an update.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So, it's unfortunate,
Uh-oh.
but, and oh my God, my daughter would hate me to talk about this. So, we went to Best Buy. Over the weekend.
Love Best Buy.
Love Best Buy. Went to the Best Buy over the weekend. And, of course, as we are trying to leave, my daughter is noticed by my wife has stuffed something into her back of her shorts or the back of her pants.
She's stealing?
She's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And she is trying to steal something out of Best Buy. My wife immediately tries to, talk to her and be like, what are you doing? Like, what's in there? What's in there? I see it. I grab it. I reach in quick. I just grab it out. I throw it quickly on the shelves. We're like, what are you doing? You shouldn't do this. This is wrong. This is the wrong thing. Right? We talk to her about it. Take her home. We explain how we're disappointed in her actions. And, this is not all right. You can't do this ever again. We're going to have to think of a real punishment. This is not something we can just, give you like a 5-minute timeout for or something like that. This is going to be a real punishment. We're going to have to think of it. So, there's a bunch of events she has planned up. But we figured one of them.
You're not going to tell me what you were stealing?
Oh, it was a stupid little, plastic pink, suitcase toy. Something that fits in the palm of your hand, right? And maybe it had a little tinier, crappier toy in it. It was probably worth $2. And so one of the things we talked about with her too was we could, if you want something like that, ask mom and dad. If we say no, you can say, well, can I buy it with my own money? Which she has some. So it's of course. Then yes, you can. We'll come back with your money and buy it.
Does she
right?
have a job?
Well, no, she gets a little bit of allowance because we have her do a couple chores around the house and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then she gets money from birthdays and things like that,
Okay.
So, so we we explained to her like what's right and wrong about it and all that stuff, and I utilized the 10 Commandments too. I'm like, it's on par with these commandments.
Oh, it's the opening race of the season.
How dare you interrupt my shit for trading
We
paint?
got some. Oh, all of a sudden the camera just seems to have gotten a lot better too. There's all of a sudden there's actual depth of field. Looks like they got all the way down to like 1.4 on the f-stop there.
You know what they probably did is they probably hired a freelancer that actually in the area, and he handled that night.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. So yeah, you have to punish your daughter because she
Right,
now
so-
has
so
found
we-
the teacher's stealing's wrong.
Exactly. So there were a couple things like swimming lessons that were coming up. There was also some dance, like a dance class, or not dance class, a dance camp that she was gonna go to. There was like a quote unquote a rock star camp she was gonna go to soon during the summer, and then
She
there was
has a
also
fucking rock star life. It sounds like.
yeah, and then there was also she was we try to keep them busy to some extent, and then the other thing she was going to be doing was something along the lines of like a Girl Scouts pool party, and so we wanted to think of the thing that would probably not jeopardize her social life, but at the same time would do something she liked that would probably hurt. So we took away Rockstar Camp, right? So she can't do Rockstar Camp anymore. So and then along with just essentially just being like on mom and dad's bad side all weekend,
Yeah. You know what that teaches her, by the way?
What?
It doesn't teach her not to steal. It teaches her not to get caught stealing.
Well, so we talked to her about that too, and that was part of the issue too. Is that not only was she trying to steal, but we were asking like, what were you gonna do when you got home?
Yeah.
Like, what were you gonna plan to do with this toy? And she was like, I was gonna play with it when not around you guys, essentially in my room alone.
Oh, she
so we're
knew.
like, oh my god, so you're gonna deceive us this whole time? We're like, this is not good. This is not better. But thank you for telling us. We appreciate you telling us. Anyways, it was a long process and it was very stressful. So a day and a half goes by, and then all of a sudden, my daughter's feeling more comfortable talking about it. She does talk about how she was like embarrassed by it and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then she feels more comfortable talking about it. So she starts talking about it a little bit more to my wife, and so she's telling her mom that this one girl at school talks about how she hears about all the time on TV and the news that women can do anything.
Yes.
And so this is a first grader. My daughter's in kindergartner, right?
This is fitting my narrative.
So this first grader is essentially telling all these girls that are kindergartners that she's heard this thing that girls can do anything. They can do anything that boys can't do. So boys aren't allowed to break the rules, but girls can break the rules. So if a girl wants to steal something, take something, right? Not steal something, just take something. She can, because a woman can do anything.
Yeah.
So my daughter's telling my wife this, and so my wife immediately is like, wait a second, did you take this toy because you thought that you can just do whatever you want? My daughter's like, no. But my wife was like, comes to me and tells me she's like, I'm pretty sure when she said no that she meant kinda yes. You could just see that there's a little bit in there where it was definitely part of what influenced maybe the thing, maybe not. But part of maybe the influence here of taking this thing was this idea that this other girl at school is literally promoting the idea that women can do anything. And I thought, oh my God, and we started laughing, my wife and I. Started laughing the idea of that, through the idea of third wave feminism, essentially, right? The woman can do anything in an unequal way to man. Just the fact that they can just do anything and they're better than men, they're better than anyone. And that filter through the lens of a 6-year-old talking to 5-year-olds is the most scary terrorism ever. The idea that these women are gonna grow up thinking women can do anything. We can just we can kick these boys, or we can set off whatever fucking issues at school with whatever bullying we want to do.
You can run a toxic real estate scam, kill Vince Foster, and still get elected president.
Well, yeah. So
This is why Hillary lost.
it's interesting. My wife and I were laughing our asses off because it's just one
It
of those
is,
things
by the way. I'm not kidding. That's
it's stranger
that's a
than
real...
fiction, truth is stranger than fiction, and it's just one of those moments you're just looking at it, you're like, wow. So when you have these great things that are it's true, women can do anything and all this stuff, and there should be equality and equal payment to men and all that stuff and all these things, but when you just hear over and over again just the battle cry of women can do anything, and you're 6,
No.
and you start telling kindergartners Women can do anything. I just love the idea.
Well, hold
that
on. The 6-year-old didn't come
a-
up with this. Who told your daughter that?
No,
it was
she
her
heard
mom.
it.
What?
No, she heard. Yeah, she heard it somewhere. She said she heard it on the news or something on TV.
She probably heard it from fucking Michelle Wolf and Samantha Bee.
Right.
While her mom was watching, like, this is mommy's program. Samantha Bee's, like saying, like, kick every man in the balls because they're all trying to rape us right now. So it's totally fine to take. The branding of like nasty woman as like a badge of pride. Like, what does that say? That like if little girls are hearing that like it's okay when they call you nasty, when they say you're a liar and a thief, it's just because they hate women, even if they're women.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, unfortunate, right?
It's like what kind of morality is that set up? It's going to be a fascinating generation coming up, and oh boy. Well, that story fills me with terror.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to speak ill of a fucking 6-year-old girl I don't know anything about, but like, how do you think we get mad? Like, it's just 12 years later, and you get Mattress Girl.
Ouch. No,
I'm not
she
kidding.
Was not 16. Mattress Girl wasn't 16.
18. 6 plus 12 is 18.
Wow.
That's how math works. Although I don't know, maybe Mattress Girl was like 20 or whatever. But like, just remember, like I remember what I was doing 10 years ago. Like, that's the gap. And when they go to college, and they're constantly told, like 5 and 6 girls at this school will be raped this year, and if you're not going to get all the attention that the media lavishes on people who are public about that kind of thing. It's like it sets up for like we've set up for some fucking dark futures with that level of like sometimes people are guilty of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one side constantly looks at the other side has potential more evil than the other side could potentially provide. So, I mean, you'll always have that. You always have these potential dark scenarios based on whatever the other side doesn't believe that your side does believe, or vice versa.
And I think maybe it's a parabellum. It's a up and down curving, but something is going to have to.
John Wick 3 parabellum.
Yeah, something's going to have to. Stabilize relatively soon. I mean,
yeah, I think so. I think that's absolutely
and
true.
I think it's got to have to be a really, maybe not just one, like a series of high-profile women get held accountable for something that they've done.
Or
awful.
something serious occurs that requires like the world and or the nation or several nations to actually stop being like, hey, let's pretend that we can have the time and luxury to bitch about stupid shit and like, oh, guess what? Aliens!
Yeah.
Because once again, we fucking, like, 2004, there was an alien sighting that the Navy reported eventually that we found out by the New York Times
Ballard,
or some
now you've
shit.
gone off the rails
And
again.
then literally over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, on Memorial Day, New York Times once again reported another story from the U.S. Navy, from pilots, in 2014 and 2015, where they saw aircraft over the East Coast of the United States from Virginia to Florida for 12 hours at a time, flying at hypersonic speeds, and they're reporting this shit purposefully on times like Memorial Day because they know people aren't going to read it.
No.
It's fucking crazy.
You're
My
wrong
brothers
on
and I
both
are blown
counts.
away.
Well, you're wrong on the account that there's aliens that are visiting Earth.
Well, it's not aliens, but there's unidentified flying objects that they've literally called that, or they call them unidentified something else.
No.
Arrow fucking, I'll look it up. I have it right here.
I know. I do know what you're talking about. There's something about SpaceX. There's like a weird flashes that people are saying were UFO.
It's not SpaceX. It's not SpaceX.
No, this is a different thing. Like there's a recent SpaceX launched, and it looks like there was aliens in the background of it or something like that. So people were like, "Oh shit, it's aliens," but there weren't. And there was also that time when like New York was glowing green.
Felk, do you want to hear this article? This is gonna blow your fucking mind. Okay, Washington. This is the.
I got a point to make about this, but go ahead.
Okay, this is okay. Well, this is apparently reporting from. Wait, what's your point?
My point is that all right, maybe something could happen. Maybe something like another 9/11, or which was a horrible thing, but did bring America together. We were very unified for like a year right after that, and it felt like American pride was. It felt okay. It felt right again to like stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem and everything. And if, like, I don't know if something like that, either good or bad, like 9/11. 9/11 was bad. I just want to be clear about that. I don't think that would bring us together. I think we would politicize it. And I think if aliens fucking landed on Earth, it would be 48 hours before you had a CNN reporter, Brian Stelter, going like, so aliens, Zeep Thorpe comes out of the fucking spacecraft. And he's like, I have all the fucking, I can solve your shit. Like, I can solve, your power problems. It's really easy. I can give unlimited power. Zeep Thorpe's helping out the entire world. It would only be a matter of time before something political. I don't know what. Maybe it would be. The question would be like, so Zeep Thorpe, do you support a woman's right to choose? And Zeep Thorpe will go like, what? What are you talking about? And then they'll explain the situation. And Zeep Thorpe will be like, no, I don't like that. And we'll just, half the country will want to kill Zeep Thorpe, and half the country will be like totally fine with making Zeep Thorpe our new like leader.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's a possibility, absolutely. Do you want to hear this?
And it doesn't have to be abortion. It could be like any number. It could be like, like in Zeep Thorpe's like, and the most important thing to solve all your problems, every one of you needs to be armed.
or everyone has to literally get rid of their microwave. And you have people being like, fuck that, I am pro-microwave. And then other people being like, I am anti-microwave now. And then
no, I don't think microwaves are. I think it'd have to be an already politically divisive subject. Microwaves are pretty bipartisanly supported as a good innovation.
But it would create a bipartisanship.
There's plenty of things that, like, if Zeep Thorpe said, and none of you can ever eat meat again because eating other animals is totally wrong, I will not help you unless all of you give up meat. I'm gonna be like, fuck off, Zeep Thorpe. Like,
well, what if he was like, you don't have to give up meat, but you have to give up cow?
I could do that. But, man, watch out, chickens and pigs, because you're all about to get really fucked up by me.
That's for sure. And on top of that, you're about to get loaded in steroids to make up for the demand of lack of cow.
You can get it from venison. And what's the meat that...
No. Bison, if anything, is the closest thing to cow.
What's the meat that Joe Rogan's always fucking hunting?
Elk.
Elk, yes.
But elk, okay, venison is a little gamey.
It doesn't taste
Elk
good.
is a lot more gamey, and moose is incredibly gamey. You know
never
what
had
I want
moose.
to try?
Never had moose.
I want to try black bear that's had blueberries.
I had an ostrich burger
Apparently,
once.
that's supposed to be the best thing ever. That's what Joe Rogan says like all the time. He's like, black bears that have eaten blueberries is the best meat in the world.
That's fucking. I don't know if the people are already trying to take her meat away. That would be cool with us suddenly going like, you know what? We're gonna start eating fucking bears.
Yeah, let's start killing all the bears. All right, so Felk, I want to read to you this alien report that just came out on the New York Times. Now, I'm saying alien. Alien is
report.
Not the way they refer to this much, but let's just be clear. They obviously are heavy hinting towards something along those lines, but they do not say necessarily alien. This is New York Times.
Hold on, before you begin, Ballard, do you believe that aliens, meaning extraterrestrials, have visited Earth?
No idea.
Okay.
It's a possibility. I think it's possible. For sure.
Give it a percentage of possibility.
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, because I also think that what we think is aliens could be parallel dimensional beings or time-traveling humans.
Well, I specifically tried to preface that as saying, meaning extraterrestrials. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if parallel dimensions is... I would give that a different percentage of likelihood. I put extraterrestrials at like 0.001% possibility. But I would put...
no, I don't think so. I think that's possible.
Interdimensional beings is like 0.1%.
Wait,
Much higher.
interdimensional? Interdimensional versus parallel dimension?
Isn't interdimensional just means from a parallel dimension?
Yeah, so what's the difference? Nothing?
No. Interdimensional versus extraterrestrial.
Oh, gotcha. I honestly, I'm just...
Planets are just too far away, man. They're just too far away.
I'm split evenly, that it's a third each. That asteroid that flew, or what? Okay, that giant rock spaceship that flew through our galaxy made a hard right-hand turn around Earth and then immediately jettisoned out of our galaxy.
Yeah.
That they thought was a comet. Then they said nope. Then they thought it was an asteroid or something. Then they said nope. And now they've said spaceship. They keep trying to say no to that. But the thing is, it had propulsion, and that's what they fucking drives them crazy. And I've always thought to myself, if an alien spaceship existed, it wouldn't be all these sparkling lights and colors. What if it was more rock-like? What if it was something more organic in nature that we didn't expect?
It would be
Anyways,
non-organic intelligence is the most likely thing that would ever make it to Earth. It would be some kind of artificial intelligence.
something like the day the Earth stood still, right? Like some kind of giant robotic version.
Well, that's
of
still
their-
with a
of their
biological
future.
being. I don't.
But I mean, the idea of just the probe I'm talking about.
Yeah, just the
right?
probe is a thing.
So let's get into the reality. So this is the New York Times, okay? And this is reported 2 days ago from when we're recording. So
Yeah.
we're recording on May 28th. This was reported on May 26th, okay? So Memorial Day. Like I said, why would you report something on Memorial Day? Because you're trying to bury it. Here's the reporting. Washington. The strange objects, one of them, like a spinning top moving against the wind, appeared almost daily from the summer of 2014 to March 2015, high in the skies over the East Coast. Navy pilots reported to their superiors that the objects had no visible engine or infrared exhaust plumes, but that they could reach 30,000 feet in hypersonic speeds. These things would be out there all day, said Lieutenant Ryan Graves, an FA-18 Super Hornet pilot who has been with the Navy for 10 years and who reported his sightings to the Pentagon and Congress. Keeping an aircraft in the air requires a significant amount of energy. With the speeds we observed, 12 hours in the air is 11 hours longer than we'd expect. Meaning they are burning so much fuel, so much energy, or they should be, doing the type of maneuvers and the speeds they're going up there for 12 hours that they expect them to be actually out of there within a 1 hour period. That they should be done with all of their fuel within an hour. So they're up there 11 hours longer, which is fucking crazy to these pilots. All right, moving on with the article. In late 2014, a Super Hornet pilot had a near collision with one of the objects, and an official mishap report was filed. Some of the incidents were captured on video, including one taken by a plane's camera in early 2015 that shows an object zooming over the ocean waves as pilots question what they are watching. "Wow, what is that, man?" one exclaims. "Look at it fly." No one in the Defense Department is saying that the objects were extraterrestrial, and experts emphasize that earthly explanations can generally be found for such incidents.
Yeah.
Graves and 4 other Navy pilots who said in interviews with the New York Times that they saw the objects in 2014 and 2015 in training maneuvers from Virginia to Florida off the aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt. Make no assertions of their provenance. But the objects have gotten the attention of the Navy, which this year sent out new classified guidance for how to report what the military calls unexplained aerial phenomena,
Yeah.
UAP, that's what I was referring to earlier, or unidentified flying objects,
Okay.
UFO. Joseph Gradisher, a Navy spokesman, said the new guidance was an update of instruction that went out to the fleet in 2015 after the Roosevelt incident.
I love that this episode's title is going to be The Cool Boys
Tra-
Trading Bait.
Trading paint. Okay, as the article continues, hang on. There were a number of different
Okay,
reports,
this is gonna read the
he
whole thing,
said. Some cases could have been commercial drones, he said.
Okay.
But in other cases, we don't know who's doing this. We don't have enough data to track this. So the intent of the message to the fleet is to provide updated guidance on reporting procedures for suspected intrusions into our airspace. The sightings were reported to the Pentagon's shadowy little known Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which analyzed the radar data, video footage, and accounts provided by senior officials from the Roosevelt. Luis Elizondo, a military intelligence official who ran the program until he resigned in 2017, called the sightings a striking series of incidences. There's a couple more paragraphs, but do you have anything to say right now?
Well, you can finish if you want.
Sure. Leon Golub, a senior astrophysicist at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, said the possibility of an extraterrestrial cause is so unlikely that it competes with many other low probability but more mundane explanations. He added that there are so many other possibilities: bugs in the code for imaging and display systems, atmospheric effects and reflections, neurological overload from multiple inputs during high-speed flight. Now, that's some bullshit right there. Bugs in the code for imaging and display systems is one thing, but literally eye-to-eye contact, right? Like eyesight vision on these whatever aircrafts.
Yeah.
That's what some of these pilots are saying. So that's not true. On top of that, you don't pay these naval pilots and you don't like work these naval pilots and have them to be like fucking up and like not knowing what to do in high speed situations. You want them to know what they're doing. So you do like trust them in these scenarios, in these situations. What is going on in Training Paint?
John
right now?
Travolta was racing and Cam was in a horrible accident.
I know Cam was in a horrible accident and Sam, John Travolta, is screaming over the wreckage.
And this guy, this old guy, I don't know who he is or what he does, has been walking towards the wreckage for
Kevin
like
Dunn.
several-
Kevin Dunn.
Is that Kevin Dunn? Oh man, he
Yes.
aged poorly.
It is.
He has been walking towards the wreckage, sad looking. There's cutaways to the audience that has never been more than about
brutal.
4 people.
It's brutal. It's brutal. We don't know what happened to Cam.
They did not even have enough extras to replicate the typical crowd at dirt track racing.
Yes, and now we're fading in on a hospital. It's tragedy. Tragedy occurred
Who's this
here.
girl
What-
that John Travolta's got his arm around?
This is Cam's girl.
Is that
This
Cam's girl?
Yeah, she works at the diner.
Oh, I thought that was like a little girl. John Travolta's just a huge man.
John Travolta is a very
He's
large
big.
man.
Look at him. I never really realized how big he is.
He's several men in one. Look at him.
For some reason, I always thought he was of normal height. Maybe it's just because maybe Nick Cage isn't small.
You know what? So, when I saw Steve Carell in person, his nose was a lot larger than he was ever filmed. I mean, like, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, in person, your nose is really big.
Huh.
I have a feeling John Travolta's one of the same. Look at this thing.
You never
Look
see,
at his
yeah.
ears.
Yeah.
He's got, like, chimpanzee ears.
Yeah, assuming that girl's like 5'6", how tall is John Travolta?
7 feet. Easy. He's towering
Oh,
over
shit,
her.
Cam got his legs fucked up.
Cam did. Oh, that's it, though. Thank God.
Yeah.
No head trauma in a car accident. Wow, he's lucky.
Yeah, it's all leg.
Yeah, that's usually not the case. He's fortunate.
Yeah. Also not usually the case is you're in a horrible car accident and all that's fucked up is your hands? Marvel?
Yeah, well, there was more to Doctor Strange. It was just hands over a long period of time because of that crush the dashboard did around his hands on the steering wheel.
Which, by the way, that's a real car. Isn't that like a Lamborghini he's driving in that scene? Like, isn't that kind of a fuck you to the makers of that vehicle?
Oh,
our
no, no,
dashboard will collapse and crush your hands if you're ever in a car accident.
Yeah, never, ever. Well, never drive it wild like Strange did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, by the way, for as smart as he is, why is he such a fucking reckless driver?
Yeah, he's being really reckless in
It
that
doesn't,
scene.
it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because I get the idea that, like, oh, he's really arrogant, but arrogance doesn't mean reckless.
So I feel like we must have missed the part where they explained he was late to the dinner or the whatever he was going to. It was a dinner or something like that. It was some kind of party, some kind of like benefit.
No.
So he was. We must have missed that part
He was
because
wearing a
he
tux.
was for no reason at all. No, they say like the scene prior where he's going, but I mean. There's no setup to like why
Yeah,
he's trying to
Shania
pass
Twain's
cars on a
song
2-lane
playing
road.
right now.
What? Shania singing?
This is a Shania song.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. And for some reason, John Travolta went back to the racetrack, and they've not cleaned up any of the collision. None of the wreckage has been cleaned up. They just left it on the track, which
It's a
they
dirt
would not
track,
have
man.
done.
They don't deal with that.
They would have cleaned it up and continued the race.
All right. I want to.
So anyways,
I
I'm
wanna-
going to continue this article, okay?
You're still in the article?
I've still got more. So that fighter pilot, Graves, still cannot explain what he saw. In the summer of 2014, he and Lieutenant Danny Acoin, another Super Hornet pilot, were part of a squadron, the VFA-11 Red Rippers, out of Naval Air Station Oceana, Virginia. I was training for a deployment to the Persian Gulf. Graves and Acoin spoke on the record to the Times about the objects. 3 other pilots in the squadron also spoke to the Times about the objects, but declined to be named. The pilots began noticing the objects after their 1980s era radar was upgraded to a more advanced system. As one fighter jet after another got the new radar, pilots began picking up on the objects, but ignoring what they thought were false radar tracks. So this essentially means, Felk, that since they upgraded their 1980s radar,
Yeah.
they were picking up on these UFOs, right, or UAPs,
Yeah.
all the time and ignoring them until they started getting visual eye contact on them.
between my politics and your obsession with not obsession, but just dedication to reading information often about either the extraterrestrials or the occult, we're the Cool Boys' podcast could be like the Alex Jones podcast.
No, we are not. How dare you? How dare you? We're not InfoWars.
Alex Jones believes in fucking aliens. You know, it's like.
Don't compare me to Alex Jones. Fuck you.
Well,
all right.
You have that one similarity.
Well, but see, I'm basing it off articles from the New York Times. It's a little different. They don't commonly report alien shit.
And you gave it at 50-50, whereas Alex Jones is a hard 100%.
See
that aliens not only exist, but they are highly involved in the secret world government. And
I'm 100% aliens exist. I am not 100% that they've come to our planet.
Yeah. Well, do you believe that they infiltrated our government to the point where...
No. But I believe that there are planets out there with life on them.
I listened to the entire fucking Alex Jones interview with Joe Rogan, and it almost...
Both. Well, how many? How many of them? There's like 3 or 4 of them.
The recent one, the one after they started the war, where he goes on about like how like he thinks like abortion is like a
That's not how they started the war. That's how they ended the war.
Is how they got... That's how they ended the war. They got back together. But the government, you know, like abortion is just a way of getting tissue to the aliens because they use it to create clones. And it's like,
it's amazing.
Obviously, that's not true.
Well, he has Rogan bought. Rogan actually is like, what? I didn't know this. This is crazy.
That's the serious part. See, like, all right, I can listen to that and go, all right, this guy's insane. But then he'll point out something that Joe Rogan just goes like, you know, that's really interesting. I can't do a good Joe Rogan impersonation. He's like, that's interesting. Like, he agrees with. I think Joe Rogan is a very smart guy. I think he is. I would say he is the fucking Walter Cronkite of our generation right now.
I've honestly I have worked in the same productions as him multiple times, and I cannot get into what productions I've worked in.
Yeah.
But I have worked with him multiple times in different ways.
I just think like him as a moderator. We're like Tim Pool, a guy from former like Gizmodo guy. You know, he had him on who's been very critical of Jack Dorsey and Twitter, along with Jack Dorsey and some woman who was like a CEO or CFO or something, who did most of the talking for Jack Dorsey. But like, and Joe just is like the moderator of incredibly informative conversation. Like the purpose of the Joe Rogan podcast. Is playing right now is, like I said, he's the Walter Cronkite of our generation. My point is though that this guy is the current voice of reason, and occasionally, you know, like he'll believe some of the things that Alex Jones is telling him about, you know, how we've made half human, half goat hybrids in China have done that, like been doing it since the 70s, and Joe's like, oh yeah, it's documented. Like, we know that. I was like, is it Joe?
Well, see, I wonder if some of it is documented in a weird way, and they're just kind of like they're exaggerating. But I also think some of the time Joe's just being a nice host.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he just goes with shit, and he feigns like their interest, you know. Oh shit! Flashback. There it is. He's with that girl. He's gonna get in that car. It is Shania. And they've euthanized them both, or DH'd them.
No way they digitally DH'd these two.
Who is that woman? That is a DH John Travolta.
But
his hair's not gray.
Is that a DH Shania?
I can't tell.
We should have been following this movie better. We have not done a good job of doing No, because that girl's dead, obviously, so that's not Shania's way.
She's dead. Jenny. Her name's Jenny.
Jenny, I got your number.
Jenny, I came inside
I'm gonna make you mine.
Your bathrobe.
Jenny, don't lose that. Oh no, don't change that number. 836752009. I don't know the number.
8 So shut up. No numbers. 8675309.
8675309. I got it. I got it.
Why did you go to that song and not?
I got your number on the wall.
The most famous Jenny.
I got it. I got
history.
it for a good time. For a good time call.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
Jenny.
If you did, you wouldn't be in fucking love with Jenny. Jenny's a cunt.
Jenny jerked him off early on accidentally or something like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Did she touch his dick? How did he come in the towel?
He
What
just,
was she doing
she
again?
puts his hand on her tit and he comes in the towel.
That's right. It was just the hand on the tit, and he came in the towel. He
Those-
ruined her roommate's towel or robe. What was it?
Those Black Panthers definitely ran a train on her. And I'm not saying that as a disparaging comment about the Black Panthers because, hey, given the
sounds like it.
given the opportunity, who wouldn't? But no, I'm saying that character.
Wait.
was,
Given the opportunity, who wouldn't run a train on Robin Wright Penn or Robin Wright? Excuse me.
a train doesn't have to mean rape. A train can be consensual.
I know, but who wants to fuck Robin Wright?
Back then, she was pretty good looking.
No. Robin Wright got most attractive in seasons 2 and 3 of House of Cards.
That's fucking baffling. She was like 50 something then. She was the hottest in The Princess Bride.
Oh, dude. She was a hot piece of ass.
She was the
Hot
hottest in The
piece of
Princess
ace.
Bride. Oh, speaking of women who aren't hot but kind of are, I don't know if I want to
Barrymore.
go back. No, I just rewatched just because I forgot I bought it when I rented it. I rewatched 21 Jump Street. Also because
Brie Larson.
I enjoyed the Lego Movie 2 enough that I was like, I'm gonna watch more of their humor.
Yeah, I watched it, and I disagree with you. That song is not catchy.
Oh,
but
really?
it's
It's not a good song. It was just stuck in my head that night.
I like the movie more than I think I thought I was going to, but it's not my favorite in all of the Lego films.
No, me neither. I think the Lego movies. Actually the Lego Batman movie is the best one.
I'm actually the Lego movie, Lego Batman, Lego Ninjago, Lego Movie 2, the second part or whatever it's called.
Oh, really? You like that less than Ninjago, huh?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
seen-
Ninjago? I actually liked.
Oh, Dragon Watch. Have you seen How to Train Your Dragon 3 yet?
I have seen it. I own it as well, Felk.
You
I
watched
own
it?
of course. So let me just put it this way.
Dragon Cast!
We watched How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Yeah?
And then my kids the following day watched How to Train Your Dragon 1, How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That must have been very
again.
confusing
They've watched
for
all
them.
these already. And How to Train Your Dragon 3 again.
How to Train Your
because
Dragon.
They loved it. They were so in love. They've seen some of the TV shows, but they loved 3. 3 ended so well. Oh my God. I feel like
Did you watch
seriously,
it for the first time with your kids?
I did.
And-
And
okay,
it's the first and it's the first time I saw How to Train Your Dragon for the first time ever that I got to see it with my kids. Because every time I saw a Train Your Dragon for the first time, I saw it in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I didn't, and my kids were not born at that point. So, anyways, I
Wow,
honestly
you grew up just
would
like
love to
Hiccup
get into
did.
I would love to get into a real conversation with them and talk about all 3 films and do like some kind of boner episode where we just talk about our favorite boners from the franchise.
Okay, well, don't use the word boner.
Why? Because it's a kid show, a kid movie, kid thing.
Well, no, if you're having the conversation with your kids. Or are you just talking about with me?
No, with you. I'm talking about like next week or something like that.
Oh, I mean, well, we got 30 more minutes of trading paint, so...
Oh, I've got more article to read about aliens. So here we go.
No, we're done with the alien article. We can't...
I'm not done. I have 3 more paragraphs.
This is
so,
horrible content.
Continuing the alien article, right, where they talked about how the radar upgrading the radar, they suddenly started seeing more of these aliens,
Sabotaging
quote
the
unquote.
show.
Okay, but Graves said the objects. Remember, Graves is the pilot. But Graves said the objects persisted, showing up at 30,000 feet, 20,000 feet, even sea level. Then pilots began seeing the objects.
That's as high as dragons can fly.
Yeah, well, they could be. I mean, what did they say at the end of How to Train Your Dragon 3? Spoiler alert. When mankind's ready, the dragons may come back.
Ah.
Okay. So, then pilots began seeing the objects. That's important. They're seeing these things. What was strange, the pilots said, was that the video showed objects accelerating to hypersonic speeds, making sudden stops and instantaneous turns, something beyond physical limits of a human crew.
Oh.
Asked what they thought the objects were, the pilots refused to speculate. Dun, dun,
Is
dun.
that the end of the... Or you just a dramatic pause?
That's it. No, that's it.
That's the end of the article?
Yeah, that's the end of the
We
article.
did it.
We did it.
After previously already putting a pin on the alien thing. All right, give me your... All right. Quick cool boy ranking. I'm
Of
gonna give,
aliens?
I'm gonna give the first, of that article. No, I'll give the first How to Train Your Dragon.
5 out of 5
5 out
boys.
of 5 boys.
5 out of 5 boys.
How to-
Easy.
how to-
Easy.
How to Train Your
Easy.
Dragon
And
2.
going back to it, just having rewatched it this weekend. Roger Deakins, you are consulting, and it is
Yeah.
working.
Oh yeah. I forgot that until the credits of the last one. I'm like,
Felt-
that's why it looks so good.
I saw How to Train Your Dragons 1 and 2 in 3D.
Yeah.
And they are gorgeous 3D. Let me tell you the best moments both in 3D.
No.
I'll get to 2 in a second.
All right.
But the first one, I did not see How to Train Your Dragon 3 in 3D. I am sorry. I am currently trying to purchase the movie from the UK or from Hong Kong, so I can't see it in 3D. But
I haven't seen any
that
of them
being
in 3D.
said,
and I didn't see any of them in theaters because I'm not going to a theater as an adult man. Go see How to
I
Train Your
don't care. I see Crossroads in theater. So anyways, How to Train Your Dragon 1,
All the
the
time.
best 3D moment is when he first gets on Toothless, and he is no longer roped in. He's not attached to a trunk. They're not soaring or whatever and gonna crash after the rope breaks. No, this is their legit test flight, and they are, fucking Toothless is there, fucking. Hiccup is on top of him holding the fucking little, cheat sheet. He even calls it a cheat sheet. And they just are soaring at about 1,000 feet over the ocean. And they drop. And you follow behind them as they fucking fall 1,000 feet. Then level off at sea level. And then go through some rocks. That perspective shot change from 1,000 feet to sea level, from looking bird's eye down view, essentially, to looking directly at the horizon, is breathtaking in 3D. And there are moments in that film over and over and over again in 3D that make that movie so much stronger, so much more powerful. That is one of the best 3D films I have ever seen, and I saw it immediately after Avatar, I think, or some shit. It was not too long after Avatar that movie came
There's
out.
a lot of
and I was just,
parallels
blown away.
between those movies and Avatar.
Yeah.
And in
for
a lot
sure.
of ways, I kind of feel like, especially the first one and Avatar, are like the closest things to what we should have gotten from a Dino Riders movie, because they have there's like scenes where you could easily just swap dinosaurs in, and you got scenes from Dino Riders.
Yeah, kind of.
You
Yeah.
just tame it and then ride it. But all right, so it's supposed to be a
Dino
quick,
Riders is a little more sci-fi, though.
it's supposed to be a quick cool boy ranking. Well, that's what I say Avatar as well. How to Train Your Dragon 2.
I also love How to Train Your Dragon and 2
All right.
and 3 end with the title card, and the title card makes sense in a way that's
It's
also
Christopher
could have
Nolan.
began the film and end the film. It's exactly like Christopher Nolan. It's Batman Begins. When you see it, you're like, oh yeah, of course, Batman Begins. Now he begins. But it's also what the whole film is. It's the Dark Knight. Like, he's the Dark Knight the whole film, but at that end moment when that title
And
card
Joseph
strikes,
Gordon-Levitt's on a rising platform. It rises.
the Dark Knight Rises. There, yeah. Again, so How to Train Your Dragon works in 1. It works in 2. The 3D moment in 2 for me that's the most powerful. It's when they go into the giant ice glacier that the ice dragon, the Alpha, has created, and you see him rise up in front of Hiccup and Asterix, and you just see how large the scale of this massive king dragon is. Breathtaking. Again, I say it again, breathtaking. Also, Jonesy, they use Jonesy, the music from Jonesy, over and over again in these movies, and his music is breathtaking. That's
Who's
what these
Jonesy?
films
What,
are. They're
Jonesy?
breathtaking. I love Jonesy. Fuck yeah.
Who's Jonesy?
Some Swedish musician. He's a fantastic guy, though.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just credited John Powell as the composer. The music's really good, though. The score is
John
very good.
Powell is composing, but they utilize this Swedish like pop band Jonesy.
From Jonesy? No, Jonesy.
Jonesy.
How many boys? I'm gonna give 2 4 out of 5.
I give 2 5 out of 5, and then 2 is my favorite.
My problem with 2 is that it reuses the giant dragon as antagonist. Stuff carries over. The flaw of the first one is that there's no huge antagonist, or sentient character antagonist. The antagonist is the dad, is Gerard Butler, as a character. Of course, he comes around, so it's a peaceful resolution. But
In the first one?
Yeah, in the first one. There's no
Yeah,
character. It's just a giant dragon. The giant dragon basically the whole thing is that like the Gerard Butler wants to kill dragons because he hates dragons because he thinks the dragon killed his wife.
Oh, so that's an
He's
interesting
wrong.
perspective of all 3. You're right. No, you're correct. All 3 of them have these random moments where they go into hidden dragon worlds. The idea that the third film takes place is called the Hidden World.
Mm-hmm.
I thought lost a little bit of its mojo getting in there, because to find the main villain that's not not his father, right?
No.
Stoic. It's that giant dragon, and you have to go into a dragon world to find it, right? That cave. You follow all those dragons.
If Hiccup's point is dragons aren't really bad and we shouldn't kill dragons, it never quite worked for me that it turns out that like, yeah, but we should kill this one dragon because he's kind of an asshole and it's making all the other dragons steal our shit. So it should have either been an all pro dragon or all anti dragon. The second one fixes that by giving an actual. Is it Ian McShane is the villain?
No, it's Jamon Hunsu.
Oh, really? Okay, well, he's a decent villain, but a pretty forgettable character. And his whole thing is what? That he doesn't.
I love that character.
Does he hate dragons?
He hates them because they hurt him, but he also uses them to gain empirical stature.
That's my problem with the third one is that you just get another guy who hates dragons but uses dragons. It felt like a rehash.
That guy doesn't just hate dragons; he enjoys killing them in the third one.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but more importantly, it's F. Murray Abraham, and
who's fantastic.
He is so. It's a very good performance. Like I thought that dude was like old, like 20 years ago. So I don't know how fucking old he is now, but he gives a great villain like performance because he just really
beautiful.
And that's what I did think is like, okay, this is a little too similar to the last villain, but at least they're putting something into this character by having him. He is just like you can tell like into the voice that F. Murray Abraham saw that as a guy who gets erections from killing dragons.
Yes, but he doesn't. So I watch a lot of kid shit, and there's a lot of kid shit that I can barely watch because it is so mind-numbingly dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dragons movies have just enough adult edge. Once they took Hiccup's leg at the end of the first one, that's where I was fully on board. I was like, wow, they really just fucking like maimed the main character, and also it's thematically relevant because now he has symmetry with Toothless.
Yeah.
So it was that was cool, but also like that's how you know fucking Star Wars isn't for kids. It's because people's arms and legs get chopped off, mostly arms.
I don't think that doesn't make them not for kids. I think kids should see shit like that.
Oh no, I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. Like when I grew up, I thought Star Wars was a movie for kids. But now you know it's like no kids. Kids should watch pregnant Elsa on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes, so there is this homogenized. 4 weeks until the race, but the big race, by the way, just as a heads up for anybody that cares about trading paint.
Trading paint.
So back to like that kind of shit. Yeah, there is the Wreck-It Ralph 2s of the world. By the way, Wreck-It Ralph 2, first episode of Cool Boys.
I'll never
we
watch
talk about
those.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph Breaks the Internet. I've seen it recently. My son, who loves Disney films, 1 week until the opening race. Okay, my son that actually likes Disney movies saw Wreck-It Ralph 2. At the ending third act, well, Ralph becomes essentially, he starts spreading across the internet. That's how he starts breaking the internet.
Yeah.
And it's multiple Ralphs, and they all turn into like one giant Omni Ralph.
Those movies look horrible. I'm never gonna see them.
It's horrible. It is horrible. The second Ralph, Wreck-It Ralph. He becomes a giant Omni Ralph. Like a bunch of Ralphs make one Ralph.
Okay, I don't care about
my son gets the fuck up, jumps out of his seat, sprints in front of the TV all the way to his bedroom. I'm scared the whole time to his bedroom. Freaked him the fuck out. Disney, in a random third act sequence that I'm sure they did not assume was going to freak anybody out.
Wait, Wreck-It Ralph's Disney?
Yeah, it's Disney, yeah.
Oh wow, I did not realize that. I thought they were like Blue Sky or whatever.
Oh, no,
because you do know that like How to Train Your Dragons it's DreamWorks animation, but yeah, the first one's like Universal, and the second one's Fox, and the third one's like Paramount.
That's distribution.
Yeah,
that's distribution.
But that's like it's a mess in terms of the funding.
Yeah, because DreamWorks has gone through a lot of shit. One of the things that's made the Dragon films very much in line with each other, the synergy between all three of them.
Yeah.
Is Guillermo del Toro.
And he's a producer?
And along with, I think his name's Dean DeBlois.
Yeah.
And Chris Sanders.
Yeah. They definitely feel like consistent quality. And the first one came out, 2011, 2012?
It was, I don't remember. Pull it up.
That's when Something like Cars 2 was coming from Pixar.
I'm telling you, it was like one of the... Okay, there were not many 3D films immediately after Avatar. It was not immediately after Avatar where there was a bunch of 3D because they did not have the immediate change over in the industry to be able to support every film being rotoscoped all of a sudden into post 3D work.
2010,
So,
March 2010.
Exactly. I remember it being immediately after Avatar, like 2009 Avatar, so 2010, that makes sense. There were some others. There was like A Christmas Carol, right? There were some shit, and there were some films shot in 3D, which were easier, obviously. No post time on the 3D, really. But that being said, then eventually in 2013 and 2014, we had a 3D overload that eventually tapped off around 2016, 2017. Okay, back to How to Train Your Dragon. 2 is one of my favorites. It's mostly because of the villain. It's because Stoic is killed.
Yeah. I just
They
didn't
fucking go
like
full
the
on.
the stuff with the mom was fine.
It felt. And Stoic, when he meets Hiccup's mom again, he comes across her again for the first time in so many years. Instead of yelling at her, she's like, "Just yell at me, say something." He's just like, "You're still as beautiful as ever," and he wants to essentially sing the song they fell in love with, and they just have their moment together, and that's beautiful.
My problem is that the mom didn't. Like, why didn't she come back?
Because she was embarrassed, and that's made very clear. She feels like shit, and she's all fucked up, and it's superhuman moment, and it's really one of those points of the film where you're just like, this is a kid's film.
Yeah, no,
and they're handling the mom having issues coming back home.
Well, I think that the second one was much later, and they grow up with their audience, like in a way
not as much as you
linear.
think, but yes, yeah, they did.
No,
I
they
loved
do.
how they aged the characters in 2.
What?
I loved how they aged the characters in 2, but 3 is not that much further along after 2.
It's like 2 years.
2 takes place many years after 1.
Yeah,
But 3 takes place not that far after 2.
like a year or two, I think.
Yeah, it's like they've been doing some time of going after and trying to find new dragons. So let's get into 3 real quick.
Yeah.
So,
I guess we're doing it then.
How to Train Your Dragon 3, I also give 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Boys, they did a great job closing the series off by also giving it a new arc, giving it something new and different, even though it is once again the first movie. Where do we go? We go to a hidden world where dragons go to a cave to feed a giant big dragon.
Yeah.
In the second movie, we go to glaciers to go see giant alpha king dragon to find out that Toothless is going to become king someday. Third film, we go find out where Toothless's kingdom will be, this hidden paradise underneath Earth, under a waterfall in the middle of the ocean.
It's Toothless's arc. It's really his story.
It is, well, the third film is more Toothless's arc than it is Hiccup's. I feel like 2 is Hiccup's and Toothless's, and I feel like 1 is mostly Hiccup's.
Well, also 3 tips the scales because, all right, the first film, the whole thing is that Hiccup is right and his dad is wrong. The second film, Hiccup's wrong and his dad is right. That you can't negotiate with Jaimin Hansu.
Terrorists.
That like he really is just always going to be bad. So he finds out that his dad was right and loses his dad. And in the third film, he finds out that he was wrong again, basically, in that like the dragon world isn't for us to save us; it's for the dragons to save the dragons. And he realizes that the whole point is we're not the ones helping the dragons. The dragons are the ones helping us, and what we need to do is get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah, and if you go back and you watch,
It's really good
1,
morals for kids to learn, honestly.
it is. And if you go back and watch the first film, you really do see that Stoic is not bloodthirsty as it seems.
No,
when
it's
you see
wolves.
When you see it the first time,
Dragons
you
are
do think
wolves.
he's bloodthirsty.
Dragons are
No,
just
but
wolves,
he does.
basically.
He reads bloodthirsty every time I watched movie 1
Yeah.
until 3. 3 is the first time I was like, oh shit, he's not bloodthirsty. So having seen 3 and then immediately rewatching 1, he is way less bloodthirsty. It's
Okay.
crazy.
I will give 3 4.5. Better than the second one. Still not as good as the first one, but the epilogue elevated this thing so much because
Yeah, it did.
the movie itself kind of felt like a rehash of the first film until the very end when Hiccup has to realize that like, oh, the point of this is we have to let you guys, the dragons, go. And then coming in to the epilogue, it basically explains, this was all in our world. This wasn't a fantasy world. This is like a fantasy story set in our reality. dragons went away, and but they're still hiding. Maybe they'll come back when we're ready for them.
When we're ready for them.
All right.
And also, we have to praise How to Train Your Dragon 3 because it's not called How to Train Your Dragon 3. They went with Hidden World.
That
for
was
some
the studio.
fucking reason.
No, that was Paramount. The distributors required them.
That was sad.
Whoever
That
the
was
new
sad.
distributor was like, I read this in an interview with Dean DeBlois or whatever, and he's like, basically the new distributor said we don't do numbers because they don't perform as well as subtitles, so you got to do a subtitle, even though they would have preferred to just call it How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Well, okay, so one of the things about How to Train Your Dragon 3 that I love is that they replaced T.J. Miller. He did record his entire lines. They replaced him with Justin Ruppel.
A guy who sounds like T.J. Miller.
Remember I was telling you about the sound-alikes? There's a whole market for these sound-alikes.
Yeah. Screen Junkies did a bit about this where they
Did they really?
Yes, they talked to. It was in I think their honest commentaries or something. Like there's a whole market of sound-alikes who were eagerly checking the like the 4 people they can do. Like, oh, I can do, TJ Miller, and I can
Right.
kind of do Steve Carell. There's like 3 other names I can kind of do, because like they did the same thing with Secret Life of Pets with
Yep.
Louis C.K. They just got a guy who sounds like Louis C.K.
Patton Oswalt.
Is it Patton Oswalt
It's Patton.
doing a Louis C.K. impersonation?
No, just you realize how close Patton sounds to Louis. That's all it is.
I guess they kind of do sound similar. They have similar.
That's what I was
They have
surprised
similar
by.
energy. Sound-alikes were just like eagerly waiting every day for the Me Too to get to be one of the people.
Oh,
that's-
I bet this is their time to shine. What? Who's that? Who jacks off in front of people? Yes.
Whoever sounds like Kevin Spacey must be really excited.
Yes. Oh, but if you can look like him, even better for House of Cards. But they didn't have that.
No.
So
I think Trinity Pate's ending.
It is Train Pain is ending. Cam did beat Linsky.
Well,
so that is correct.
It is freeze framed. So it was 80 minutes of content. And 7 minutes of credits. And I bet these are going to be really slow. Oh, post-credit scene. Fine, I'll trade paint myself.
That's it. Yay. So, Falk. Anyways, back to how to Train Your Dragon 3 and all that jazz.
All right, finish it up, though, because we can't go on longer than the movie.
Well, then there's nothing more left to say about How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, I guess.
Well, no. All right, let's just skip to the end, though, because what did you feel about that epilogue? Because that epilogue was like, to me, that was like one of the best trilogy enders out there.
It was fantastic. I loved the way it ended. I loved how you flash forward and you saw real quickly his wedding, and they did it fast enough, and someone yelled "finally" already in the crowd, and then you cut to
Ferguson.
so many years later, and he's got his kids, and I loved how his kids were scared of the dragons.
Yeah, legitimately.
I love that, and I loved how he touched Toothless. The way he touched Toothless and the way he said goodbye to Toothless was the same way he first touched Toothless in episode 1. I keep saying episode 1. In the first movie, I was really happy. They did such a good job with it, and I think it's such a great series as a whole, and I'm excited I was able to share it with my kids in the end, and I really recommend How to Train Your Dragon. It's like one of those few series that's just so fucking good. It's so well made. It's got quality. It's got love.
It does, yeah. And I was gonna say that like a lot of it reminded me of telling our human beings' relationship with wolves, how we were probably scared of them.
Yeah.
Then they became dogs. Because Toothless acts kind of like a dog cat. They give him cartoon dog intelligence.
He's much more dog than cat for sure.
I definitely think more
Dude,
dog
what
than
is
cat.
going on with Trading Paint? We are seeing all of these cuts in between the credits of to a birthday party all of a sudden all the way in the future where Cam has a kid with his wife and Sam's there with Shania.
And dialogue with no audio, which is really weird. It's like they're having a full conversation. It doesn't make any sense.
And Linsky lost. Remember that. Michael Madsen's character, Linsky, he lost.
He did?
He lost to Cam Monroe. Yeah, Sam's son.
You followed that? I didn't follow
I
any
was
of
watching the
story.
movie the whole time.
I have no idea what happened in this movie.
What? Really?
How
You
the fuck
watched
did
the
you
whole
follow
movie?
this? You were reading a goddamn New York Times article for 30 minutes.
I still can watch a movie and read and, talk to somebody.
I'm baffled that you knew anyone won or lost. All I saw were colors and shapes.
What's Michael Madsen's character's name, by the way, real quick?
You just said it, and I don't fucking remember it.
Linsky.
Hiccup.
Hiccup. Ass shit.
Yeah.
Toothless. All right. Well,
And
5
Craig
out of 5 for
Ferguson's
the whole
character was
series.
gay.
I love the whole series of How to Train Your Dragon. The only person in the whole series that I wish was not cast as a character. It's not Jonah Hill as Snotlout. It's not fucking Christopher Mintz-Plasse as Fish Legs.
Kit
It's
Harington?
not T.J. Miller as Tough Nut or Rough Nut and Kristen Wiig as Rough Nut or Tough Nut. No. It's not Jay Brubaker as fucking Hiccup. It's sure as hell it's not Americana Ferrera as or America Ferrera. Whatever her name
America
is.
Ferrera. Cast
That
an
shit.
or as Asian Hispanic girl as a white girl. That's totally fine. But you don't want to do it the other way.
Yeah, whitewash. It's for me. It's Craig Ferguson.
You don't like Craig Ferguson?
I just don't get him. I just don't get him in that role. I just don't get it.
Well, they do a weird thing where all the elder Vikings have Scottish accents, yet all the younger ones have American accents. Or Canadian, I guess, technically.
Yeah, but you know, Jay does an incredible Gerard Butler.
He does his voice in the movie?
Yeah, because he does he mimics his dad a few times, and you're like, wow, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it is weird, though, the whole accent thing. And historically speaking, Vikings should not sound Scottish anyways. They should sound what?
Like Danish people.
Swedish. They should sound most like Swedish.
Okay, first of all, Viking is not technically what they were called at the time. That is a modern nomenclature that is not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Viking is a verb. You went Viking. Danes went Viking. To Viking meant essentially to go and pillage and rape, honestly. But Viking was not a noun. It was a verb. You were called, if they saw a whole bunch of quote-unquote Vikings off the coast, people usually would yell, Danes are coming. That something along those lines.
Huh.
They did not yell Vikings. Viking was not what they were. They were going to Viking that town.
But they did train dragons.
They did. That's reality.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was the fucking best John Travolta film we have ever seen.
Yeah.
Cool Boy Nation, tell us about any of your funny or interesting thoughts on Trading Paint. Also, if you have any questions or any more insight on our viewing of Trading Paint, then let us know by emailing us at thecoolboyspodcast@gmail.com. New episodes of the Cool Boys Podcast come out every Tuesday or Wednesday. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Cool Boys and review us on iTunes. You can also donate to us on Patreon at patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. And please check out our other great Cool Boys Central content with Batman and Beyond on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from the Forger Felk.
And that's Byzies from Broken Arrow Ballard.
You are upstanding American boy.
You have excelled in all things.
I pump while I dump.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Oh yeah. So cool.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Oh yeah.
This episode of the Cool Boys Podcast was brought to you by...
Felk, we never did a quick Cool Boy rating of Trading Paint.
Oh, 0. 0 boys. Fucking horrible.
I give it 4 out of 5, boys.
Yes.
I was actually watching.
How many?
4 out of 5.
How many do you really give it?
4 out of 5. I was watching. I actually watched it. It was fine. I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5.
All right. That's...
And now you know how I rate movies, Cool Boy Nation.
Okay, well, that's it. We're done.
There's your Easter egg.
Yeah, the rating will be the Easter egg, I guess.
Cool Boys.
Yeah, you always... That was a weird episode.
Get some
Cool Boys.
so serious.